Hello, I'd like to introduce you to Beautiful in Blue. Beautiful in Blue is semi-soft cover, single signature, a very generous signature. There's the spine, removable dangle. So by semi-soft cover, she has a cereal box base with fabric on one side, and let's see, what do I have on the inside? Oh, I've got wallpaper, and there's also some cotton as well, some linen lining the inner part. She is 6.5 inches wide, just over 9 inches tall, and the spine is a little bit curved, and it's about 1.5 inches. So this just slips off like that. And it's made from some jewelry. I'm not sure what kind of beads these are. I feel like glass maybe. And this was from a different necklace. There's a little bit of a heart theme going on in this one too. Not overly, but a bit. And I made this here, box board, and a decoupage some napkin on there that matches the colors of the journal. Stamped the word hope, and this is held on by the signature strings of the single signature. I made some yo-yos and added some vintage clip-on earrings here, 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 here. This one, there was just one. And this is a brooch. That's the heart as well. This picture was from a gift book, or it was an address book. I don't remember which. But I thought, first I picked the fabric. I bought this dress, it was marked down at a thrift store, and I thought it was probably going to be too small for me, and it was. And then I thought, well, that's all right. Even if it's too small for me, I am going to make journals out of it. It's just so pretty. And I know why it was marked down, because I don't know who could fit into that dress, but I sure couldn't. So I started with the fabric, picked out a picture that went with the colors, glued the picture to some cardstock, and then sewed it onto this after I put on some vintage doily. And I like this because it's almost like a star shape to it, and I thought it framed this nicely. And the closure, I did something a little different than I usually do. I used some bits of the fabric, that same fabric, to create two little hoops, and in the hoops I've attached a little metal thing here, and put the ties on it. So the ties could be used actually in two different ways. You could close it the way I had it, or you could go around like this and like this, and you could tie it off to the side like that. And that looks cute too, and that doesn't block the dog or the lamb. Yeah, I fell in love with this picture. First I fell in love with the fabric, and then I was looking through the pictures that I had, and as soon as I saw that, I went, yep, that's the one. Okay, and here we've got, you can see there's wallpaper, and this wallpaper was something I recently picked up. I don't even think any of the roll was used yet, but I inked it up a little bit, but the colors in it went perfect with this fabric and with this. So that's why I chose that. And then this doily I added in as a liner so I could create some pockets. Vintage button there. And this I made from a fabric sample of silk. It's got little tea-dyed papers in there. Tea-dyed, and this here looks like it's from the geranium petals that I made some dye out of. Anyways, all hand-dyed. A little cute stamp there. And some little bits of crochet layered with a vintage mother of pearl button. And here's from an earring. I think I only had one of these, so it's a perfect thing to make into a dangle. And some tea-dyed ribbon. On this page, we've got a tuck made from some nice thick paper, and has two pictures from magazines on there. Here's a postcard. I think it's from Haiti. Goes that way. Someone's art. And this paper here was hand dyed, and I think that was also the geranium petals. I just love that blue. This page we've got a belly band, kind of, like there's a tuck spot there, and here, a vintage button, some crochet. Here's a little tally card made into a booklet. And this was from that was a price tag. I just took the sticker off and then tea-dyed it and made it into a little journal card there. And this is tea-dyed from a book. And I thought that was cute to put at the beginning. It says beginnings. And this opens up and you can journal in here as well. This side we've got a pocket made from some of my lace and a little butterfly that I made from, it's similar to tracing paper, but I think it's this other paper that came from a book that I filled up with watercolors. This here is cardstock to make a closure out of this little card, and inside I put some tea-dye paper to make it journaling space. And there's a little tuck spot right there as well. Goes like that and goes in there. And this is again that from that book about the last journal I made. I used papers from this book and I tea-dyed the pages, and it's kind of like reverse art, reverse watercolor. You can draw with black ink on top of it to create your own pictures. It's stamped on there, stamped on a little tab there. This little journal card, blank on the back, and that's been coffee dyed. It's a vintage button on top with some cotton. And this here, this little card is a postcard, and it looks like it's vintage. It says from West Germany. Very sweet picture. There's some stamping there. And on here I've got some vintage lace trim. Here I did with pastels. And this tag made with a fussy cut flower, writing space on the back, and some tea bag there. And this pocket I made from a desk calendar picture. I have a whole desk calendar of Thomas Kincaid pictures, so I put that there. And this is that reverse watercolor paper, that picture that I tea-dyed from that book. Edith Holden made this page into a little journaling space there. And this is made with fabric sample, and did some stamping on here, 2 different layers. There's a vintage button there. You can hear my cat in the background. She's trying to get comfortable in her little box. And this is from I guess it's like a day book. Some neat little pictures in there that I've tea-dyed. And this was made from a business envelope, stamped on there. Created a little journaling space here. Fabric sample there. Little mini book here, made from scraps. Did some stamping on here, plus there's some journaling space there. This was a fun page to work on. And this is made from some cardstock. I layered it up. Some cutouts on there and writing space on the back. And this is vintage seam binding. I used to have quite a bit in this journal. I often forget what I have, and then sometimes I remember, and then I use a bunch of it. So there's some more vintage seam binding, a different color. A little journaling spot here, as well as on this. And this little pocket thing that I made, and it's a tag as well. I made this using the lid from a Kleenex box on the opening, and I just was thinking, oh, that's a different sort of look rather than your standard tag shape. So I thought that was fun. So I'll probably be making more of those. And this is a bookmark that was in the wax window there of the business envelope, so that you can see it from the other side. Journaling space here. Yeah, there it is. And over here, I've got some a little bit of book page that I cut out, butterflies. And this was from some stationery. Writing space on both of those and on here. As always, I like lots of journaling space. I'm somebody who journals every day, so it's really important to me to leave writing space. And you can use it for collecting quotes or memories. This here I've layered up with paper and a fussy cut, some other paper on top of some really lovely scrapbook paper. And then there's some extra writing behind it too. All these have been tea-dyed as well. And I liked how this turned out. I guess I ripped this from something. And sometimes when something tears really interesting like that, I save it to use in a journal. So that's what I do with that. There's some vintage lace there. And this paper's sparkly, but the nice thing about this sparkly paper that I've tea-dyed is that the sparkles don't come off. And that's from, I think it was a Herb book. This card layered up, writing space on the back, a little bit of writing space there, some fussy cuts and some stamping and some sewing and some tea-dyed fabric there. And there's some of that paper again from that reversed watercolor book. Really having fun with that. This page here, I couldn't figure out what to put on this side, and then I remembered I had this lovely Cottage Core sticker book, and I thought, yes, that. And then I just added a little bit of chalk pastel around, added some green and purple and made it blend in. And I learned that from Be Again Books from Kathleen. There's a couple of stamping spots on here, and here's a postcard there. Goes with the colors. Got an envelope here made into a flip and spot for a journal card. You can journal on it as well. And a tuck spot on this side for some hand-dyed paper. And there's another part of that day book. This was interesting how the colors turned out, and I managed to find a sticker that had some of the colors in it, so I was happy about that, and did some pastel chalking on that as well. Here's a little charm, and it came from my jewelry box of odds and ends. There's a vintage paper clip holding it on. And on this side we've got a pocket with a journal card made from a greeting card. And I've decorated it up a little bit, layered this pocket, put some stamping on it. Here we have a belly band made out of some tea-dyed cotton, and a sticker that matches the theme of this page, and some, this must be, I'm thinking that might be some of the blueberry dye, but that could also be from the geranium petals. Don't remember, but it's hand dyed, and it's from me. And this is a book page that's been decoupaged on top with some lovely blue napkins. Just love that color. And this is on top, oh, it's on top of an envelope, and the envelope is a flip and writing space on the back and here, and a tuck spot for some writing space here as well. And this is quite a bit of writing space. Love these little pom-poms. And that's from a beautiful book that I have, illustrated like that. This is from a greeting card. And this is layers that I put together on this pocket here with a vintage button. And this hidden paper clip, I decorated it with some mesh from a garlic bag. I just planted my garlic yesterday. 60 cloves. I'm hoping it all grows. They're from garlic that I had grown already. So the idea is you plant your best ones so that each year it becomes better. And I used to do that before, so I've started that up again the last couple of years. Anyways, I'm sidetracked here. Garlic bag. This is fabric sample that I've cut and then added a little faux half pearl there. Beautiful, oh, lovely, lovely card. I think that's Bouchard Gardens. Yep, and that's vintage. I've been there several times. We used to live in Victoria. What a beautiful city. The whole time I lived there, I thought, oh, this is such a beautiful city. This here, this side tuck, I made this using a picture from a magazine, and I just glued the picture to some cardstock, cut it out, inked up the edges. This is perfect in a blue journal. This has been stamped on, and this is a piece of hydrangea from my garden, and I just sewed that into like a little window, and there's writing space on both sides. And there's the other side of that hidden paper clip that's got some fabric sample and garlic mesh, which we won't get onto that subject again, and a vintage button. And over here, this is hand embossed paper that I've tea dyed, this here, and then I've tea dyed all these. Added them here for some extra writing space. Here's a little journal card there that goes inside, because the last paper I made into a little pocket, and then you can journal in here as well. And on this side we've got a greeting card made into a flip for writing and a tuck spot. And this page says middles, because now we're in the middle of this journal. And here's some tea-dyed stationery. And looks like some paper from color from another paper bled onto it, but I like it when that happens. Vintage lace. The yellow goes with the yellow in here. And here's another magazine picture that I've glued onto cardstock and then fussy cut it and inked the edges and made it into a little tuck spot with a lovely Claude Monet quote and bookmark. Here's from that day book. Vintage ledger, some stamping on it. And here's the center where you can see this is what this was tied to. And we've got card for writing on. And here a tuck spot I've made using different layers, and that's from a greeting card. I think it's from a vintage greeting card. This butterfly is from a butterfly book, and then I use some chalk pastel around here and around here. And here's a card that I made using some tea dyed scrapbook paper. Here's some vintage seam binding. Put a little sticker code on there, and this is writing space. And there's also a tuck spot with a little full postcard and writing space on the back. I love this green. That goes in there, and there's one of my little teapots that's been scanned and tea dyed. That was from a watercolor that I did. Like the little tea bubbles when that was being dyed. And there's a sticker that I thought went with the colors over here. This pocket flips, and you can see there's a writing space behind it and on this little card. This was from packaging. It's been tea dyed. And in here we've got some more packaging that's been tea dyed. Add a little string to it. And this picture, or this paper here, I don't remember. It might be something from a magazine, and then I added this little circle that I cut from my butterfly book. And there's a fabric sample, some button sewn on there. Here's some stamping on the background and writing space on the back. I had fun with that. I got some new stamps like these, this and this, and I love this green. So I've been having more fun with them. This here was an envelope that's been tea dyed, fussy cut glued on, fussy cut butterfly there, and a little tab that I made. And inside is a lovely picture, country cottage picture for journaling on. And then behind it is a journaling card as well. And this was some scrapbook paper I got. I added this onto it from a hospital thrift shop that I love going to. Might go there this week with my daughter. We have a tentative date to do that. Let's see, that's writing space there and there. This flip is made from a pocket that's made with music paper. And there's a little journal card, and this is napkin that I've decoupaged onto cardstock and sewn around it and added some fabric and a little label that's been stamped on, and little mini tags here. And that's vintage seam binding, and this is fabric, and I've sewn a little vintage button on there. And here made a tag, fussy cut, flower, tea bag, cardstock behind it, and some stamping. And this is a piece of, oh that's right, this is a piece of the same wallpaper that I used to line there. It's been inked up and sewn on, and I put some paper on the back Yeah, tea-dyed paper on the back. So it can be written on. Here's a vintage postcard. I thought it went nice with the colors on this page. It's pretty old looking. No, they're old when, oh yeah, it's almost as old as me. 1962. You know they're old when they got this bumpy edge on them. And here we've got a bookmark, nice and cheerful. And this paper, this is from the cover of that reverse drawing watercolor book. And that's one of my teapots. And fussy cut butterflies here with a drawing spot there. And this is made from the William Morris scrapbook paper book that I have. So I just added some book page onto it with the blank side facing out for writing. You could stash something in there too, a little note. Would be a cute spot for that. And there's a little mini Brad holding this on, and this has been tea dyed. I love the rich color of it. Almost looks like leather. And this is a stamping from a stamp that I had carved. I need to get back to do some more of those. Winters, definitely for crafting now. This I made from a greeting card, and then I tea dyed it, cut the edges, and loved the colors of it. Thought it went nice with this page. And this idea here I saw from a recent flip through, and I really liked it. So you can journal there and here. Okay, that was included there, and all in here. And then it folds back up, and I made it so that you can tuck this in here, vintage seam binding, in here like that, and decorated it up with a bit of, let's see, there's fabric and crochet, a vintage button, and a little bit of washi tape there. Yeah, I was happy with that. There's some vintage trim here. I needed something on this page to go with this, and as soon as I saw this, I went, yeah, that's it. Keep forgetting to dig into that basket, but I remembered for this journal. And that's a fussy cut, and in the background I've got a bit of chalk pastel. On this side, some stamping. This I made and embossed by hand. It's cut from this, something that I got from actually the hospital thrift store. Created some writing space on the back, because I don't know how well that would be. Could write on that. It's an older paper clip. Like how strong they are, and it's how old looking. And good quality. This is a flower I made. Flowering making kit. And here's an envelope with tuck spot there. And this has also been made into a little booklet. So we've got lots of writing space inside and on each of these tea dyed papers as well. And of course you can write on the envelope. Lots and lots of writing there. That's from the Herb book too. And I thought this card, this artwork went well with that page. And there's that sparkly paper again. And this here, I also hand emboss from the odd thing that I got from the thrift store. And here's a spot for writing on too. And some hand dyed paper. And this as well was hand embossed, and then I stamped on it and added some vintage seam binding. I thought the pinks in here went good with the pink on the paper. And here's a vintage paper clip with a little button on it. And this here, I don't know if this is vintage or not. It's definitely a vintage looking picture. I thought that was nice. A little stamping there. Lovely scenic picture here. Reminds me of one of the walks we like to go on. You never know when a seal's gonna pop its nose up too, with this one spot where we walk. And we've got a flip here with a card made from a journaling card that's been tea dyed, from a greeting card that's been cut and tea dyed. And here's another one that I got from the flip through that I saw. It's the same as that other heart. It's probably in my list of favorites. don't know if they, I don't think they showed how to do it. It was just in the flip through. And here's a little tag made from some book page. And this is made from a greeting card and some vintage seam binding. And this here is, oh, this might even nearly 100 years old. Vintage encyclopedia dictionary page. And then I put a fussy cut butterfly on there. And on this page is a little bit of silk with a vintage button on there. There was this hole there, so I thought, I'll hang something from it, since this is really sturdy paper. And then on this side I pinned a little piece of shell blue, and then the gold goes with the gold in there. Here's another vintage postcard thing from West Germany. I like that picture, and I thought it went good on this page. Sweet. On this side I made a little journaling card with some William Morris paper from that book, scrapbook paper book, and some fabric there that goes with the colors, and a vintage button, writing space on the back. Another William Morris thing on this altered, is it altered paper clip or hidden paper clip? And looks like whoever had this postcard before me had it pinned up somewhere, but I like the colors in it, so that's why I wanted to put it on this page. And that's one of my butterflies that I printed out on, printed out and I tea-dyed it, and yeah, anyways, it's fussy cut and put there, goes with this. And on this side, endings, that's also from the same book that the other ones that got those words on, beginnings, middles, and endings. And that is some tea-dyed cotton and a little fussy cut from William Morris paper. I think it was from the, yeah, might have been from the packaging or from one of the pages. And here's a tea-dyed greeting card that I thought went really good with the colors in this book. And at the back is an unused card from the 70s. And on the back you can see that it's from, where is it from? Well, I'm not sure, but it looks like it's from Europe. But I love the picture. It's sweet. Whenever I see them, I pick them up now from the thrift store, because I imagine it's a limited edition. I don't imagine they're still printing them. So the back's plain. There's the top, the side, bottom. Beautiful and blue. I couldn't decide what to call this one, but I just know that I bought this fabric because it's beautiful. In the picture, I picked it out because it's beautiful, and like beautiful and blue, that makes sense to me. There's room in this to grow, but it doesn't need to grow, but there's definitely room. I hope this second day of autumn finds you well and inspired, enjoying, hopefully pleasant weather. We're having pleasant weather here today. And good health. Take care, and thanks for watching. Hope I inspired you.